The city was never quiet. Even at night, when most people tried to sleep and forget the hunger of the next day, the streets of the lower districts stayed alive with distant sirens, tired footsteps, and the faint glow of broken neon signs flickering like dying hope. It was a world where dungeons had become normal, where monsters were no longer myths but resources, and where human lives were measured in ranks, permits, and survival probability. In this world, a young hunter lived with his elder brother. They were not famous, not strong, not even registered among the elite guilds that controlled the major dungeon gates. They were just two low-ranked hunters trying to survive one day at a time. The elder brother carried most of the burden, taking dangerous escort jobs and low-tier dungeon raids that paid barely enough to cover food and rent. The younger brother, still inexperienced, followed him everywhere, learning, watching, and trying not to slow him down. But today was different. Today they had entered a low-ranked dungeon together. It was supposed to be simple. A routine clearing mission assigned by a minor guild that didn't care who lived or died as long as the mana crystals were collected. The entrance gate shimmered like a cracked mirror in the middle of an abandoned warehouse. Hunters lined up like cattle before slaughter, each one pretending they weren't afraid. The older brother placed a hand on the younger one's shoulder. "Stay behind me," he said quietly. His voice was calm, but there was always a hidden tension beneath it. He had seen too many dungeons turn from harmless to hell in seconds. "Don't do anything reckless." The younger brother nodded. He trusted him completely. They stepped through the gate. The world twisted. Cold air turned heavy, filled with the smell of damp stone and rotten mana. The dungeon was a forest-like cavern filled with pale glowing mushrooms and broken stone paths. Weak monsters roamed sea-crank beasts that usually didn't pose a threat to experienced hunters. At least, that's what it was supposed to be. For the first few minutes, everything seemed normal. Hunters spread out, forming small groups. The elder brother efficiently cut down monsters with precise sword strikes, guiding his younger sibling through safe routes. The younger brother followed, gripping his weapon tightly, trying to imitate every movement. "This isn't so bad," the younger one said with a small, nervous smile. The older brother didn't answer immediately. His eyes were scanning the environment, sharp and cautious. Something felt wrong. The dungeon was too quiet. Then it happened. A low, distorted sound echoed from deep within the cavern. It wasn't a monster roar. It was something else. Something broken, like reality itself cracking under pressure. The ground began to tremble slightly, and the glowing mushrooms flickered as if losing power. The elder brother immediately raised his weapon. "Get behind me," he said sharply. Before the younger brother could react, the air tore open. A black rift appeared in the distance, like a wound in space. From it, a wave of corrupted energy spilled out, warping everything it touched. The monsters nearby began to convulse violently. Their bodies twisted, bones snapping, flesh expanding in unnatural ways. They were mutating. "What is this?" one of the nearby hunters whispered in horror. Then the first mutated beast screamed. It lunged forward, its body now twice its original size, covered in jagged bone spikes. It wasn't a crank monster anymore. It had become something far worse. Chaos erupted instantly. Hunters tried to fight back, but the dungeon itself was changing too fast. More monsters mutated. More screams filled the cavern. The safe, low-rank dungeon had turned into a slaughterhouse in seconds. The elder brother grabbed his younger sibling and pulled him backward. "We're leaving. Now." But it was too late. The exit gate shimmered and then collapsed. Panic spread like wildfire. Trapped. Everyone was trapped inside. The younger brother's hands trembled. This can't be happening. This was supposed to be a simple run. The elder brother didn't respond. His eyes were locked on the spreading corruption. He understood something the others didn't yet realize. This wasn't a dungeon malfunction. This was an anomaly, a system error. And it meant death. A mutated beast suddenly broke through the crowd, charging directly toward them. The elder brother reacted instantly, pushing his younger sibling aside and stepping forward. Steel clashed against bone. The impact nearly shattered his arm. The monster was too strong, far beyond its original rank. The elder brother was forced back, sliding across the broken ground. "Run," he shouted. The younger brother froze. "I said run." That scream finally broke his shock. He turned and started running, but his legs felt heavy, like the air itself was resisting him. Behind him, the sounds of slaughter grew louder. Hunters were dying one after another, their screams swallowed by the chaos. But then he heard it, a roar right behind him. He turned. A mutated beast had already broken through, its massive claws descending toward him. He couldn't move. Time slowed. This was it. Death. But in that exact moment, a shadow slammed into him, the elder brother. He had thrown himself between the monster and his younger sibling. The claw struck. Blood exploded into the air. The younger brother's eyes widened in horror as he saw his brother being impaled, his body lifted off the ground by the sheer force of the attack. The monster roared again, shaking the cavern. "Brother?" The elder brother coughed blood, but his grip didn't loosen. Even while dying, he forced his sword upward, stabbing into the monster's chest. "Don't stop," he whispered through clenched teeth. The beast screamed and staggered back. For a brief second, there was space. The elder brother fell to his knees, blood pouring from his wounds. The younger brother rushed to him, catching him before he collapsed completely. "No, no, 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 you can't die. We just started." The elder brother's vision was fading, but he forced himself to look at him. His hand trembled as he grabbed the younger brother's collar. "Listen to me," he said weakly. Outside, chaos continued, death everywhere. But in that moment, everything narrowed down to these two voices. "This isn't just a dungeon accident," the elder brother whispered. "Someone is controlling this." The younger brother shook his head. "Stop talking, I'll get you out." "Don't lie to yourself," he interrupted, coughing again. "We're already dead." Silence. Then, with his last strength, he pulled his brother closer. "If you survive," he said, voice breaking slightly, "don't forgive them." The younger brother froze. "Don't forgive the system that did this to us." The words carved themselves into his soul. The elder brother's grip slowly loosened. His body went still. No breath. No movement. Just silence. The younger brother sat there, holding his brother's broken sword, his blood soaking into his hands. Around him, the dungeon was still collapsing into madness, but inside him, something else broke completely. He didn't cry at first. He just stared, like his mind refused to accept reality. But then the sound finally came. A trembling breath, then another, and then a broken scream that echoed through the dungeon ruins. "Hi." The sky above the dungeon flickered like corrupted code. That night, he didn't leave the dungeon as a hunter. He left as something else. Something empty. Something burning. When he finally returned to the city, the world felt different. Every light looked colder. Every sound felt distant. People walked past him like nothing had happened, like his brother was just another casualty in another forgotten dungeon report. He walked home silently. No one stopped him. No one cared. Inside his small, broken room, he placed the shattered weapon on the table. It was the only thing left of his brother. The room was dark. No lights. Only silence. He knelt down slowly, and for the first time, he spoke into the emptiness. "I understand now." His voice was calm. Too calm. Like something inside him had died completely and something new had taken its place. "If the system is responsible," his fists slowly clenched, "then I'll destroy everything connected to it." A faint crack of mana flickered in the air. Unnoticed. Unstable. Like the world itself had just acknowledged something dangerous was being born. And in that moment, his oath wasn't just a promise. It was the beginning of a war against the system itself.